Hi, welcome to the fourth part of the lecture, labor market policies, and uh, this is a part of the lecture series prepared for the gender economics course, Ulysses Technical University, Northern Cyprus campus. And last time I have mentioned, I have started to mention certain conditions inside of the factory and how those conditions could be actually an improvement for the woman in different ways. And I said I'm saying this as a certain person who is critical of the working conditions in general. And I'm also, in many ways, critical of the capitalist system as a system in general. Um, as you might know, I'm also teaching Marxist economics course, where I'm actually mentioning several flaws of the capitalist system. However, also in that very course, also I mentioned, and in very much parallel with Marx himself, capitalist system in some ways might also be a development for the workforce compared with the past economic system. Well, in the future, but we might build a better economic system, but capitalist system is not certainly not a system which justifies returning to the old, let's say, conditions. And this is pretty much actually this article is in very much in line with that view also. Uh, and in past we have seen also, in many ways, women and in past times, children were employed in factories, and this is probably for the EPZs also today. That's why disproportionately women are employed there. Well, especially in developing countries like Bangladesh, women are already kind of they are not able to resist. I mean, they have secondary position mostly inside of the family, where the decisions are made by the husband, um, and basically they are expected to uh, basically their workplace, what they need to do. That's decided by someone else, and especially well, we have also seen in the cultural businesses. When we have come to capitalist system, that could be a problem for the men who, in their own farms, at least they could organize their labor power themselves. But for women, they were not able to. They were organized by men anyway, and that's why in early times in capitalist system, women were female workers were more common in the factories compared with the male workers. And here you also see that. So in many ways, as I said in the previous part, the working conditions in these factories, EPCs, might be an improvement for the woman, both with the alternative working options, but also for them uh, uh, well, uh, for the conditions that they face inside in the family, inside of their families. Well, some women might work in EPCs because I mean the conditions that their farms might be become uncompetitive. Their family members get unemployed, and basically that's why they might need to work. But even if in those cases, the fact is the women are by entering to the EPCs, they are able to contribute to their family, and for the first time individually, they got some autonomy, although in terms of working conditions, they might be suppressed, they might be very much inability to decide, shape where they work, how they work. But besides that working conditions, that workplace, that wage gives them an autonomy. And in some cases, basically, some women might be escaping from their family conditions, and some women might also want an income, and some women might also already need to work for other reasons, but basically might, instead of working in these informal sectors or as a domestic servant, they might be working rather in the EPZs, basically. So that doesn't mean, by the way, EPZs are not problematic. The Kaber has mentioned several problems for the EPZs. I mean, one of them is the wages are paid late, for example. The overtime might be a problem. Sometimes people are forced to work overtime, and if women are married, they might want to go home and spend some time with their families. And the unmarried woman might work overtime to get extra income, but they might be those times might not be recorded in the overtime, let's say, schedule, for example. And basically also, well, the safety conditions, the fires, as you can see in the first place, those things are not might not be the woman's first concerns. And the very factory, actually, at the beginning of the or at the beginning, if you watch the video, you will see that was also kind of a more organized, more formal factory, which was an improvement to the many workshops which were much more dangerous in New York City at the time. We are talking on the turn of the century there, of course. Well, people might very well think that the fires are or typical safety measures like that are basically rare occurrences, and they might think that they will not happen anyway. Although, of course, they might be important. And I'm recording this after, ironically, of course, experiencing a major forest fire in the Middlesex University on the Cyprus campus, actually. Well, and women might actually well, historically, it is mentioned that the women are the garment workers are actually organized, and they bring the factory owners to the court, and they are able to win because courts are sympathetic to them. However, of course, inside, as we have seen, the organized worker, even the factories don't allow organizations, but organized organized labor also doesn't look that much friendly to welcome women or fighting for their causes in Bangladesh also, and that's also mentioned. And we should also mention organized workforce is a little bit more radical than the women who think actually the conditions they face is an improvement and they want to improve it further, basically, with some reforms. Like, for example, providing childcare, especially if they have children. Having childcare facilities of factories could be a certain improvement, and that's also mentioned in the text. So what to do? We have women who are part of the global workforce, and they got to the global workforce from the informal sectors, where they were already working, of course. Increasingly, the people who were working in the families also joined the workforce in places like Bangladesh and other developing countries. And as a result, the working conditions of both organized labor in those countries and the organized or unorganized workforce in the developed countries is getting worse and worse and worse. How to solve this problem? Well, Kaber basically talked on, and that's the first thing she mentions is actually the most important thing. We need to have a globally organized workforce. All segments of the society who want to join the workforce should be part of that workforce. That workforce should be globally organized. Previously the organizations were national, and there could be some. The idea is you might build some solidarity between those different segments of the workforce. But now you need to have representative organizations, representatives of different segments of the workforce inside of the labor organizations, and those labor organizations in different countries should work basically together. And if the labor organizations in developed countries, and that's for the developing countries contrast, want to now do something for the workers in the Bangladesh, maybe they should work with the organizations who are representing women in working women in Bangladesh. And if there are no sort of organizations, maybe they should first of all support basically the organization right of the woman in those workplaces. Well, Kabar talks further on the fact that, I mean, because of the inferior conditions of the certain segments of the society, and those women are not able to work, not able to join to the workforce, and their options are inferior, and those options are not able to change and overnight, even if states try to force them because of the social conditions. Maybe states should basically lift their living standards in a different way. I mean, by income transfer, giving them certain rights, basically, right of, well, provide certain things like healthcare, education freely, or certain things freely, or maybe providing even a certain amount of income freely. However, then she says maybe we should not be able to have this in the developing countries, might not be able to do this alone because of because their conditions, their resources might not be enough. You might rather have the developed countries supporting the developing countries in this. And here, basically, we see the basic logic of Haber. She said the world is more connected now. You cannot isolate yourself. So if you build cooperation globally, that should be a full cooperation. If you want to raise living standards of the woman inside of developing countries, then you should make sure there is a global floor, however low or high you want to set it, global floor of living standard. And that global floor of living standard will also determine the working conditions that workforce is willing to take. Well, that might be an idea, certainly. Another idea might be also, of course, as I said, making those workers more organized, making them more speak to themselves, and basically with the higher organization level, if those workers in those segments that are usually excluded work together more, and basically find ways to become more productive and find ways to look for their rights more, collectively look for better economic conditions. That might be a very in that case they might be the very people who might set that floor. So setting that floor as an external force might be a problem by itself. Maybe different segments of the labor force should themselves come together, and maybe, I mean, the main assistance should be help to those excluded labor segments, including women, especially in developing countries like Bangladesh, to speak for themselves, to actually build organizations that speak for them. Not, of course, external organizations, but internal organizations. They build, they organize, they control who to speak for them. Maybe those organizations are the starting point. With those organizations, I mean, the different ways could be discussed. How to organize, how to make sure there's a global floor standard of labor. You might not even discuss only floor, but we might even discuss ceiling in that case. That's what I take from this article. Although, of course, this global floor idea, you might explore it further by reading the article. Anyway, this is the end of this article. We will go to the next article in the next part. See you in the next part.